Dr. Hill, and I'm here to answer 8 questions very specifically about doTERRA and the AromaTouch. I probably came to Brazil for a lot of reasons beyond just the AromaTouch, but the AromaTouch has a kind of a special place with me, not just because I'm the creator of it, but because of all the benefits that people can receive from the AromaTouch and the oils. So I'm always very anxious to create an opportunity where I can share that message and where I can share my own personal insights. And so I felt like it was really important to come and to be here and to share some of that along with all the other things that we're doing. So probably the simplest way to explain the AromaTouch technique is, I have this tendency to always want to be really technical and really detailed in things, primarily because there is a lot of background detail that goes into the AromaTouch. But the beauty of the AromaTouch is, in fact, that it is so simple. It can be done by really anyone. And you don't need special skill sets or anything else. You don't even need to know everything there is to know about essential oils. And you can use the AromaTouch. The best way to describe it then is, it's not a massage therapy technique or anything like that. It is an essential oil application technique. It's where we enhance the benefits of those oils in a very meaningful way, in a way that everyone can do with ease. It took a little longer to create a technique than what I ever imagined it would. It was a very detailed process in some ways, because there was not only a need to understand all of the application and the chemistry and body physiology and how those things might interact together, but the complexity of the AromaTouch and the value that it brings, and the fact that we can deliver that so simply and routinely, is really where all of the critical work took place. It took a great deal of time. In total, I spent close to 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years in the development of that, with really intense work and trying to understand how all that would come together effectively. I actually can answer that question, and one of the things that I have, it wasn't anticipated, but it's become one of the things that I've appreciated most about the technique. We always like to think of it in the context of the person receiving the technique is going to have a myriad of different benefits that might develop. But I think it's more than that. One of the things that I've really enjoyed is that as the giver of the technique, it's mutually beneficial. It's not just the person who's receiving the process. There's something unique that happens to us as an individual when we decide that we're going to give service, that we're going to do something to help someone else. And so I really like that it's a mutual outcome for people. And we have an experience that is fairly unique to the essential oils. The AromaTouch technique was not isolated to one specific framework or one set of certain circumstances or one group of individual or illness. It really is this broad benefit that can be received. And so there is no ideal circumstance for the AromaTouch. I've always worked under the mantra, if we can't create something that has universal applicability. Now obviously it can't be everything to every single person, but I've yet to meet that person who couldn't have really wonderful benefit come to them from the AromaTouch, regardless of what their circumstance is. I'm asked this question all the time. My favorite doTERRA oil, can I suggest that it's a moving target? It really kind of depends on the, where I'm at or what the circumstance is. But I have some pretty consistent favorites. I love citrus oils. I really genuinely do. I like how they make me feel. I like that they're fresh aromatically and they're uplifting, but I just like the overall sensation of citrus oils. I love frankincense. it's a daily oil for me. Copaiba is a daily essential oil for me. Many of our blends fit into these great categories where we capture some of each of those worlds, and Motivate is a beautiful blend that I use routinely and always seem to have available to myself. So it's hard for me to narrow it down. I guess I could say I love them all, but I have my favorites, and those are some of them. Well, that's a really tough one because it's kind of funny to me that the question leads me to both the beginning and at the very end of the AromaTouch. I love Balance essential oil. I like what it does for me personally, but to me this is the initiation of the whole process, and it's so deeply relaxing and soothing to everyone. But I really like, I'm going to go back to what I said a few moments ago, I love citrus oils. And it might be hard just to say just wild orange, but it's that combination of wild orange and peppermint that I find particularly pleasing, especially towards the very end of the AromaTouch. So can I have two bookends? Can I have one at the beginning and those two at the end? They're the two points in the AromaTouch that I look forward to the most. You know, the AromaTouch, the essential oils as a whole, it occurs to me that it's not really just something that we do. It at some point becomes more of who we are. It becomes more of a way of life for us. I in particular have loved all of the goodness I see coming out of doTERRA. I love all of the individual stories that we hear from people who are having good experiences and sharing those and introducing other people. And I think what I would like to tell people most is just thank you. We develop our own reasoning for why we think doTERRA is wonderful and why we love the essential oils, and maybe that's part of the magic of them all. But in the end, it all leads us to exactly the same place, that we're doing many great and wonderful things. We're helping people, and I just don't know of anything that's greater than that, and we're really grateful and thankful for that. So thank you to everyone for being kind enough to do that and being willing to share in that way.